Dude, you guys, what's up? I'm Hildy. Welcome to my Autism Disco, episode 4. And I'm not going to say it. You guys, I'm going to break that routine right here on episode 4. And what I am going to do, though, is I'm going to start with a massive apology. Um, yeah, because I just took an emergency, unscheduled, unavoidable, unfortunately, hiatus over the holidays. I don't know if you guys noticed. There's only one or two of you probably keeping up with these episodes as they actually come out. And yeah, I want to apologize because I realize now doing this, I might potentially have other people out there who wonder and maybe even worry if I drop off the face of the planet, for longer than expected, which is definitely going to happen at times. This one I did not expect to happen, though. Well, I don't know. I hoped it wouldn't happen. The whole point of rebooting this before the holidays is that I was hoping that this project would help pull me through the holidays, since I know that they are extraordinarily challenging for me in general. However, that's not the way it worked out. Obviously. The holidays, they weren't nearly as bad as some years. They're getting better, but yeah, they still suck and I fucking hate them. And the other piece is that I'm really fucking struggling, right? Like I'm struggling anyway. My situation sort of comes and goes in terms of escalation, and we're in a really bad escalation phase right now. I'm not gonna obviously again talk about details, but dude, you guys, I am drowning. Seriously, like I'm trying not to burst into tears right now talking about it. Things are just, like I'm in panic mode essentially right now. My future is so incredibly up in the air. And it's definitely inducing some panic at this point. And I tend to just want to shut down, right, when I'm panicky. It's probably better and healthier for me to be creating more, right? When I'm panicking, get it out, connect with others, not feel so alone, all the rest of it. But that's still a very significant, like survival, defense mechanism for me, is just to pull back and shut down when things get overwhelming, right? So I had no intention of, taking a couple months off here or whatever it's been. But it is what it is. And again, it's likely going to happen here or there. At the end of the day, right, I'm just doing my best still. Try again, right? Just starting over. I just have to keep fucking starting over. Because essentially everything is hard for me. But something like this is really fucking hard for me. And it sucks, and I hate it. I hate that is my natural reaction to stress, is to shut down. I'm sure, obviously a lot of the neurodivergence, mental health issues, trauma, all the rest of it play into that, I'm sure. So my situation is awful, as usual. And then, mirrored by the absolute nightmare that we're all collectively living through right now. And, obviously some of us more than others. We all are. I'm almost at a loss for words over what's happening in Minnesota, especially. And it's hard for me to talk about. And like, I'm not going to sit here and try to center myself in any of this, right? ICE is not currently in my community. Well, we're getting reports of them being here, and apparently they're headed to the Bay Area for the Super Bowl. So yeah, there's going to be more of them. But they are not in our community like they are in some other communities, especially in like Minneapolis, St. Paul, and still in Portland and other locations too. But I have a really good dear friend up in Portland who was just updating me on the situation up there. And yeah, you guys, they're still living through it every single fucking day, right? She was telling me about a friend who lives near the detention center. I forget the name of it, the one in Portland. She literally has an apartment right there, and they have to keep gas masks on hand and duct tape around the windows because tear gas and potentially other gases are constantly being deployed on the protesters there, and it just seeps into her apartment, right? Yeah, just some normal, random, everyday person living in Portland has to make sure they have gas masks on hand in their own fucking home because of what's happening outside. Right? Like, this is affecting so many fucking people right now. And I am overwhelmed by it, which is, an understatement. But I'm also fucking overwhelmed by how many people are pretending it's not happening. Right? Even those who veer left on the political spectrum. I can't handle it. You guys, what the fuck are we doing? So I'm not going to sit here and spend too much time talking about it because, I don't. Yeah, it's hard for me. And again, I'm not going to, I'm not trying to sit here and center myself in it. But what I will say is that, and I don't know if I've brought this up yet, but I experience hyper empathy, like hyper empathy, like fucking debilitatingly hyper empathy, right? And I have since I was a kid. I have since I was a baby. Seriously, you guys, I was days old when my mom first realized how deeply I feel things. And that's a story for another time. So yeah, technically, I guess I'm what you would call an empath, although I don't walk around calling myself an empath because I think that's really fucking weird. I don't know. When people claim that they're an empath, I just feel like they're claiming they're betazoid or something. You know what I mean? And I just think that sounds ridiculous. So I don't claim to be an empath, but yeah, that's how you would describe me. And that is exacerbated by the mirror touch synesthesia, which I don't think I've gotten into yet. But essentially, and mine seems to work a little bit more intensely than what I've read about it. The way I've read about it is that it has to be a visual cue. So the cue is that you observe something happening to the physical body of someone else, and you feel that similar or same sensation in the exact location in or on your body, right? That's mirror touch synesthesia. But mine, it doesn't just have to be observed. I can hear, like, be told something was happening to someone else. I can read that something was happening to someone else. It doesn't matter how the information gets to my brain. It immediately produces the response. So just stop and think about that for a minute, because I don't think we have a good handle on how many people experience mirror touch synesthesia, but it seems to be pretty rare, even amongst people who experience synesthesia. And this is what I mean by having to learn how to filter all of this stuff out at a really young age, right? Because it's not hyperbole, you guys, to say that I literally feel these things every single time. Every single time I see, hear, or read of something happening to someone else, I have that experience myself in the moment. Yeah, like, it's really fucking intense. And clearly, I have to filter out the vast majority of this without even thinking about it, or I literally would not be able to function for even 1 second in the world. You know what I mean? And hilariously, as an aside, figuring out the mirror touch synesthesia actually finally made something else make a lot of sense. I mean, obviously, discovering I experience all these various forms of synesthesia made a lot of things make sense. But this is one of the things that the mirror touch synesthesia specifically made sense. I don't think I brought this up yet. So forgive me if I have. That's just sort of a ground rule, right? You guys, I'm going to repeat myself. That's just how people like me roll. So deal with it. Or not. That's okay too. You don't have to be here. It's cool. I get it. But anyway, I grew up in a really sex positive household. My parents were very progressive in that sense. My dad especially. He just treated sex and bodies like he was very practical about it, right? And sex to him was just, it was like diet, exercise, right? All the other things you do for a healthy lifestyle. That just included sex for my dad. And so I didn't grow up, with any like weirdness around sex or bodies or, anything like that. I mean, I won't say any weirdness. We all grow up with a little bit of weirdness, but I have far less weirdness about this kind of stuff than most people. And so when it comes to porn, I am not morally like opposed to porn in theory, right? In general. Clearly, there are a lot of negative downsides to porn and, questionable practices in the industry and addiction and, unrealistic expectations and all the rest of it. So I'm not saying porn is like this fabulous thing across the board, but I'm also not, you know what I mean? Like morally opposed to it, like I said. However, I have never been able to comfortably watch porn with a partner. Like I've never sought it out myself, right? But I've never been with a partner who didn't want to watch porn at some point. You know what I mean? But despite being fine with it as like a concept, I have never been able to comfortably actually watch porn, right? It is a supremely uncomfortable experience for me. And I've never understood why. And now I realize why. So you can imagine someone who deals with mirror touch synesthesia and who doesn't like to be touched by other people for the most part. Yeah. Watching porn? Way too fucking, like I can't handle it. It's way too fucking much for me. I end up having to cover my eyes most of the time. Yeah. And so it's ridiculous. It makes it, right. I get all like squeamish and yeah, and I've always been teased, right, and made fun of for it. It's never made any sense. And it doesn't even have to be porn, right? I mean, sex scenes in movies, books, whatever. Even just kissing, you guys, kissing scenes, I can't fucking handle them. I have to cover my eyes. Seriously, still, as a 45-year-old grown-ass woman. I am like perpetually Fred Savage's character in The Princess Bride, right? Seriously, I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a kissing movie? Is this a kissing show? Right? Like I get all like, hey. Like if someone recommends something to me or wants to watch something with me. Yeah. And then some sort of intimate scene pops up and I'm like, whoa. You didn't say there would be kissing. Right? Because I feel like I feel like they're in my face kissing me. Seriously. As I'm watching it. And I can't, oh my God, I definitely can't have anybody in my face. Oh God. Yeah. No, please get out of my face. Like I said, this is all stuff that is partner and partner only for me. My physical being, it's to please get the fuck away from me. Don't touch me. Don't look at me. Don't, you know what I mean? For the most part. So anyway, just an aside, to tell you how hilarious I find it after all these years, having finally figured out why it is so fucking uncomfortable for me to watch porn. But there you go. The mirror touch synesthesia, which also impacts and exacerbates the hyperempathy. So I am essentially a basket case right now, right? Because I'm also a fucking news junkie and I can't not be informed. I feel uncomfortable. It makes me panic more when I don't know what's going on, right? Yeah. And the people on the streets right now in Minnesota, they don't have a fucking choice, right? They don't get to take a day off. They don't get to just not read the news today and pretend it's not happening. It's in their faces all day, every day and night, right? And I'm so far away. There's nothing practical I can do except for, right, call my representatives, send donations when possible. So in a way, keeping informed is holding space for them, is supporting them, right? And then sharing that information online as far as possible. Like we all have a part to play in the resistance. Those parts are going to look different depending on the day, location, week, month, whatever, right? And individual person. So again, this is not me trying to center myself in what's going on. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of where I am headspace wise and heart space wise and soul space wise, right? Like I am, like so many of us, I'm kind of barely holding on in a lot of ways, you guys. I mean, again, still mostly showing up like this, though, right? Because that's just how I do. But when I stop for any length of time and really consider, my own personal reality and the reality at large, it's fucking overwhelming. And it makes me just want to fucking shut down. But I also have shit I want to be doing, which is mostly this fucking podcast. And really, when we think about community, right? We talked about focusing on community. We're all really realizing that's where this starts. We start in the middle, we grow outward, or we start at the bottom and we grow upward, right? But starting small also includes your own physical being, right? Because being healthy, being rested, being ready to take on whatever the day has for you, that's absolutely a form of resistance, right? It's an enormous form of resistance, especially for marginalized groups, right? Because those in charge right now, they would prefer us all to be dead. Full stop. Full stop. Yeah, that's what this is all. That's the whole point of all of this. They're trying to cull the population, right? And those of us in marginalized groups, yeah, we're at the top of those lists, right? I mean, I don't have brown skin, so I'm not at the very, very top at the moment. So being able to figure out a way that we can feel better in order to do better, right? That's significant. That's hugely significant. Seriously. And I know we're all, a lot of us, most of us, are wondering, what can we do? What can we be contributing? How will we ever actually win this fight, right? And I think we need to keep that in mind, right? That starting small is not only okay, it's good, right? So I know so many of us feel right now like we wish that we could be doing more, right? So I want you to keep in mind that focusing on yourself and your health with the goal of supporting those in more actionable frontline positions, that is an active form of resistance, right? Sitting around attempting to find joy in life and resisting through joy, especially for my fellow white women out there, yeah, that's not for us. You know what I mean? Joy as a form of resistance is for the Black community, the Indigenous community, right? These communities have been dealing with what some white communities are just now dealing with for hundreds of fucking years in this country, right? They have done the resisting. They've been resisting. Their entire lives have had to be forms of resistance within a society that fundamentally doesn't want them to exist, right? So for them, being able to find joy in everyday life is a form of resistance because of their reality, right? Just seeking out joy is not where it's at for privileged communities and individuals like fucking white people in this country, right? Yeah, we got to be really clear on that, you guys. The hat making, the fucking, I don't know, bracelet wearing, yes, craft, absolutely. Craft, if that helps you deal with the stress of what's happening, yes, please do so. But if all you're doing is looking for ways to make yourself feel better about what's happening, and you're centering yourself and your own joy and happiness in what's happening right now in this country, that is not fucking resisting, you guys, right? Yeah, not so much. We need to be doing better. We need to be doing vastly better. But like I said, we all have a part to play in the resistance, right? And that might look different depending on many factors. And so for me right now, this is what I have to offer, the resistance, which, again, in addition to the other tangible things I can be doing. But in my opinion, right, disseminating information that can potentially help people feel better. Yeah. Right. That's a benefit to society right now. And even more so because we are more and more collectively being cut off from our sources of support in terms of healthcare, right? Which again is part of this whole program. Yeah, they don't want us to be healthy, right? They don't want us to be strong. They don't want us to be well rested. Um, and as more and more of us aren't able to access medical care, it becomes that much more important for us to figure out ways to help ourselves that don't involve the, usual channels, the institutions that we've always been told were there to support us, right? So what I'm looking to do now is make this a little bit easier on myself, right? I get really fucking stuck in my head about these episodes, like so many things. So my goal going forward now is to simplify by making these shorter and more frequent, right? And less like information heavy. I really like long form things. I'm sure I've mentioned that clearly, or I wouldn't be, doing a long form podcast. Like I think I've mentioned, I'm the type of person who gets pissed if like the article's not long enough, right? I'm like, well, that's it? Like, where the fuck is the rest of it? Like, there's way more to the story, you guys. Jesus Christ. So I'm always like, more is better, right? But not everyone's like that. I get that. And I get with podcast episodes, especially, they're probably far more accessible for most people, the shorter they are. So I'm going to this is kind of like a throwaway episode, which is cool. Those are also going to happen sometimes too. I'm going to end up seeing what I can edit this down to. And yeah, I mean, they're not all going to be the exact same length, but yeah, I'd like to get them down to under an hour. And honestly, when I first started this, I had the idea that Mad would be more like a morning show. You know what I mean? Like quick turnaround episodes. Clearly, that is not the way things have worked out. But I think I would still like to at least work toward that model. So that's what we're going to do, you guys. We're going to work toward that model. Because again, this stuff is festering inside of me, right? And so while I want to shut down because I'm so fucking overwhelmed, the only way for me to get through the overwhelmed is to be creating, right? Like opening up, not shutting down. That's what's going to pull me through this, because this is creating, right? This is one of my main creative outlets right now. And for those of us creative types, especially within really stressful environments and situations and realities like we all collectively are in right now, this is how we get through it. This is how we pull ourselves through it, right? Is by creating, through creating. Oh my God, Resus. I don't know if you guys can hear that. School behind the house is on break. So yeah, we got some kids screaming outside. Potentially my kids. That's actually where they are, is just behind the house at the school. Anyway, so yeah, this is just sort of, like I said, throwaway check-in episode. And yeah, like, again, I definitely wanted to apologize for just sort of disappearing. I realize you guys now know that I'm like functionally homeless part of the time and in this really stressful situation. And yeah, so I apologize if anyone was out there wondering or, worrying potentially. As for the functionally homeless bit, I am actually staying with a friend now. So I'm not having to sleep in my car, which is fucking fantastic. I mean, grateful to my car for sure. But it's fucking winter now, right? And I'm in California, sure, but it's Northern California. We do get some weather here. And yeah, it's been getting pretty fucking cold at night. So yeah, I have a friend. She is a couple of hours away up the coast. So on the coast in a community that's always been a really safe, happy place for me. So it's kind of amazing, that I now have this opportunity to stay with her when I need to. And she is someone I met a couple of years ago online, right? In another sort of dedicated autistic space at the time. And she constitutes one of literally less than a handful. It's just a few people who are actively supporting me on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis at this point. And except for my dear friend up in Portland, these are all people I have just met online, again, in the last couple of years in dedicated neurodivergent spaces. And these people all quickly became like found chosen family, right? Yeah, to replace, The other family I lost along the way. And I have never experienced friendship quite like this. You know what I mean? I know some of you must know what I mean. So this is really new for me, right? That I have people I can turn to for help. And I have a friend who is literally just opened her house to me whenever I need it. I have an entire room there, right? Um, I'm, yeah, it's hard to put into words how much this means to me, right? Like, yeah, how huge this is for me to have this kind of support. And she's fabulous, and we get along so, and right, we're both autistic, so it's like it's a lot of like parallel play. You know what I mean? We just sort of like hang out in passing and chat as we're like taking breaks throughout the day, and like, you know, maybe hang out while we're cooking dinner or whatever. And like it's so cool. It's so fucking cool. You know, like it's so easy, and I feel so incredibly comfortable in her house, which is not normally the case for me. Even in like family members' homes, I don't necessarily feel comfortable. I feel on edge. I feel anxious. I can't fully relax. Like, yeah, I don't feel right. And the instant I walked into her house the first time, my nervous system just let out a sigh of relief. You know what I mean? Like, that's her home. Absolutely feels like a sanctuary to me. And it smells good. And she's not like a scent person. She's more of a scent avoiding person. But I walked in the first time and her home immediately smelled like my Norwegian grandmother's home. Which makes sense considering this friend is part Norwegian. Seriously, I was like, okay, do you have a lot of wool in your house? Right? Like it's the smell of wool and clean. If clean had a smell, right? That's how my Norwegian grandmother's house smelled. Seriously, wool and clean. I don't know. I don't have any other way to describe it. But anyway, that's exactly how this friend's house smells. Well, and wood, right? Like it's like exposed wood, wool, and clean. I don't know. That's got to make sense to some of you. So anyway, so I am not sleeping in my car, which is fabulous. I don't know if I'm going to have to at some point again, but for now, I do not have to. And I am so fucking grateful for that. So I have been spending a lot of time up on the coast. Again, this is a community that I've always really enjoyed spending time in. It's very healing up there. And so I've been running the trail along the headlands, which is just, yeah, fucking dreamy, you guys, fucking dreamy. And they have ravens up there. Oh my God, I'm making friends with all the ravens, you guys. We have crows, of course, because I live in town, but she's up there. She's got ravens. And yeah, they are, I mean, they're fucking ravens, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's been fun, right? But it's a haul. It's like 2 hours each way. And I'm doing it 2 to 3 times a week right now. So it's a long, and it's, you know, thankfully I love to drive, right? Driving is like one of my main stims. I fucking love driving. I feel the most comfortable in my body essentially driving, which I think is probably weird, but so are a lot of things about me. Most things about me, in fact. So I don't hate it. And the drive is really gorgeous. Unfortunately, I mostly do it at night, so I don't really get to enjoy it as much. But yeah, it's like a windy road up and over the coastal hills and then through the redwood forest. And yeah, it's like fucking idyllic and gorgeous. I mean, because it's California. So I love the drive, but it's kind of exhausting, right? Because it's often foggy as fuck. Like literally, you can see nothing. Or I've had to drive it right in a couple of serious storms at this point. Came around a corner and there was a fucking redwood tree down in the fucking highway. Thankfully, I was able to stop in time. I mean, in like rainstorms where the windshield wipers on high aren't even high enough, right? Like you still can't fucking see. Yeah. Anyway, so it's I'm exhausted. You guys, I am so fucking fundamentally exhausted at this point. I mean, not like, listen to me, I have lots of energy, but I'm weary. I'm like bone weary at this point. And yeah, like I said, escalation with the rest of my personal situation. And yeah, things are a nightmare. And, you know, the world and the country and all the rest of it. So, you know, but we're all here together struggling, right? And that's the point of this podcast is I want to be connecting with you guys as we're all struggling, right? So that's what I'm here doing. Like I said, this is going to be like a total throwaway episode. It's sort of just like an update episode, reorient episode. I don't know, call it whatever you want. But I just wanted to check in, get something recorded, get it out ASAP, and keep going. That's all I can do, right? Is keep going. So that's what I'm gonna fucking do. So anyway, I am alive. I still exist. I hope you're all out there still existing. That's the best we can hope for right now, right? We're at least existing. Here we are. And the other piece I just wanted to mention too, just, I don't know, keep you guys updated. Again, I have to remind myself it's my own podcast. So I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. The other aspect that's been making the last couple of months even harder than they otherwise would be is that my eating disorder is back, like in a massive way. Which I'm so upset. You guys, I'm so fucking pissed. It's been a couple of years since it has reared its head like this. And I have almost no hunger cues to speak of right now. I am some days not even getting in like a full meal, probably. And I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. I just want the food to go into my body. Like, why is that so challenging? It seems so fundamental and basic that I should just be able to eat food. And it just, nope, that's not how it works. And so consequently, right, when I don't eat, I can't fucking work out. And so this accounts for a lot of my struggle right now. Because I've maybe been on a handful of runs in the last couple of months. Like, it's bad. It's bad. And I am still running, like I'm trying to run at least still once or twice a week, but like my runs suck. I feel like shit. My numbers suck. My fucking VO2 max is actually really tanking right now. I actually took a really serious nosedive at the beginning of January, and I'm still trying to figure out why. It's never done that before. So I'm also dealing with a little like, oh no, is there something actually more wrong with me, right? Because it's all sort of coinciding together, like my VO2 max tanking, the appetite disappearing. My resting heart rate has been a little wonky. Actually, it's been a lot wonky. And my resting heart rate is actually one of the main ways I keep track of what the histamine intolerance is doing. I don't know if we've gotten into that piece. I don't think we have. But yeah, it significantly affects my resting heart rate. So anyway, I am actually considering going to the doctor, which tells you how worried I am that I'm actually dealing with something else now on top of all the other shit that I deal with. So yeah, I'm a fucking disaster, like usual. But I gotta keep doing this because even if not for you guys, I need to do it for me. Because it's something I can do. It's something I am good at when I actually sit down and do it. It's something that benefits other people. And those are all really fucking worthy reasons to just be fucking doing it, right? So here we are, just doing it. So anyway, whatever this episode is, it's episode 4 is what it fucking is. So again, just an update. I'm alive. I didn't die. I'm still here, existing. I hope you guys are all still out there existing. It's the best we can hope for at the moment. But again, as we go along, we may be able to get some of you closer to feeling better, even maybe thriving. I don't know if any of us can consider ourselves thriving in this current reality, but we can at least try to get as close as we can, right? It's all we can do. Yeah. So let's keep doing it, shall we? We shall. We shall. All right, you guys, that's going to be that. See, look at me. I haven't even been recording for an entire hour yet, and I'm already going to wrap it up. Are you proud of me? I'm proud of me. I'm very proud of me. Good job, self. We're proud of us. Okay, so we're going to do this again very soon. You can put the very in quotes, but, we'll get there. We'll get there, you guys. There will be an episode 5. I promise. So, as always, if you're here, Wherever you may be, thank you for fucking being here. I really fucking appreciate you. I really fucking mean it. Seriously. All right, my friends, that's going to be that. I'm Hildy, and this is My Autism Disco. Catch you on the flip side.